Birds are singing. Morning dew glistens on the leaves. The sun on a slightly cloudy blue sky. The warmth of the morning rays. How good it is. The other maids said they were glad they were done with the damn laundry. Another maid didn't understand where there was so much of it, because her arms were falling off. Even her muscles have grown recently, more than any other blacksmith. It was very ugly. And she looked at her colleague with dissatisfaction. The main character looked at herself and wondered if she had them at all. They went to take a break. But another said that it was not necessary, because they would return early and they would be immediately loaded with new work. They simply couldn't do it anymore, that's all. Suddenly, one of them saw Princess Grace. Even for a princess, she is incredibly pretty, and they believed that it was very good when the father was an emperor. You can wear any dresses you want. There is everything you want. This is real life. But the main character noted that she would not say that. She said they don't even know how hard it is for her now. This dress weighs at least 20 kilograms. When you wear it, you feel like a pork sausage in a wrap all day. Under her dress, she has a tight corset. She can barely breathe. Walking in a corset feels like a giant is constantly squeezing your torso with his hand. The girl told the maids to try eating or going to the toilet in this state, and they would understand why she was not jealous of her at all. And she is also obliged to put on a happy face in such pain. And she asked how they could do this. Now they understand what is behind her external happiness. The maid asked Xian how she knew how to be a princess. The main character really only recently was exactly the same princess. Her parents are the king and queen. She was born in a small kingdom. Her name is Siana Azalon von Seelet. This is her in infancy. She thought that she would grow up loved and happy, like any other princess. But her mother died when she was 10 years old, and the father immediately brought a new woman into the house. Even though she felt very lonely and missed her mother, Siana still tried to fulfill her duty to her family. The woman said not to worry, because it will make her an elegant and sophisticated princess in memory of her mother, under the guise of education. Constant bullying and beatings awaited her. It's strange that she can't learn anything, no matter how hard she tries. The wife said that one more wrong greeting, and she would beat Siana with this whip again. Siana didn't understand how long it was possible. This was already the 100th time. The corset is suffocating her, and the dress is too heavy. She'll probably die. But this upbringing was normal for the princess. The girl said that she was greeting her dear mother, so she must endure it. The mother asked why she couldn't get it, and she asked how many more times to explain to her. The stepmother asked her when she would understand, because she's a princess. The woman did not understand how she could look into the eyes of His Majesty if she could not be taught. She herself is to blame for everything. It's all for the sake of the kingdom. She swung at the girl, and the emperor entered the room. The woman tried to explain herself. Siana was glad to see her father, and hoped that he would save her. But he simply said that his wife was doing the right thing, because a mother must raise a disobedient child. The main character couldn't believe that it was all her fault. Siana just wanted to be happy. She tried her best to be a princess worthy of her family. The girl hates this family, and she thought it was best for her to just disappear. That's what she thought. But Siana did not imagine that this was exactly what would happen. When she turned 18, imperial troops stormed the palace in just half a day. The kingdom fell to the invaders. Prince Rashid the Bloody, Rachid Labadan de Adran, Crown Prince of the Labadan Empire. He said that he did not deign to answer her letter, so he decided to come in person. He asked if they were ready to surrender. Siana was of course ready. If they surrender, he can spare them. Siana tried to tell her father something, but he shouted that he would never ask for mercy from the invader and that he would rather die. Siana was terrified. Rashid said that it will be as he wants. He was simply in shock. The prince said that he would get what he wanted. He probably considers himself a hero. He did not bow his head to the conqueror. Let everyone know about it. And he said goodbye to the man. Siana understood that he was coming towards her. Her life was not that happy, but she doesn't want it to end like this. Siana fell to her knees and asked him to spare her. The princess shouted that she was ready for anything. The prince asked if everything was really true, and he asked if she was ready to become his concubine, but she refused. And she said that she was not beautiful at all, and there is no charm in it. On the contrary, she does not differ in external data. She's even often asked why she is so gray and boring. She is sure that she will not give him any pleasure. Nevertheless, Siana is in excellent health. She embroiders very beautifully and knows how to brew tea wonderfully. So she asks His Highness the Prince to make her his maid. The girl couldn't believe that she really said this. She considered herself a complete fool, and did not understand what to do now. The prince said that he wanted to see her face. When she looked at his face, she noticed that he was incredibly handsome. They say that he is a peerless swordmaster. But isn't this because the enemy could admire his face, while the crown prince was furiously hacking at him? Rashid said that everything was as she said. Siana is like a Lenten bread, round and pale face. This means that he does not want to see her as a concubine. The prince said that it would be so. Siana will be a maid in her imperial palace. Mudchina ordered to untie her hands. She managed to survive. The torments of hell had just passed her by. Siana thanked His Highness and said that her name was Siana Azalan von Sillet. She said she would never forget the kindness shown. The prince noticed that he seemed to have spared the sweet girl, so she became a junior maid in the imperial palace. She was a princess in the kingdom, but in the empire she became a maid. Siana could despair, considering her situation a disaster. But she bakes bread with her own hands, washing dirty clothes, and maintains order and beauty in the garden. This is a completely different world than the world of the princess, where she was suffocated by tight corsets, and she had to constantly keep a doll-like smile on her lips. It's 100 times more pleasant and safer. Being a maid is just great. She would like to live like this until she is old. Everything was so clean. It just sparkled. Again, she is busy with something she was not asked to do. The maid said that she was so eager to impress the senior maids and told her not to be an upstart and to know her place. It was Jana, the younger maid, who spoke. She is still a slave, taken from a defeated royal family. She will never be made head maid. This girl with goldfish poop on her cheeks has a personal grudge against her. Or is it a war for territory? The maid ran up to them and said that Jana was again offending the quiet woman. She told Jana to stop because she was disturbing everyone's work here. If this continues, she will complain to the senior maids. She was a junior maid named Juju. Jana said that she was not offending her, but gave her balanced and very wise advice. But since she wants to tinker with this useless orphan, then that's her business. Let her do what she wants and wash the floor for free. They threw the bucket over and ran away. Hooligans. They behave like it's not clear who they are. Juju said that Siana was also good because she should not have been silent, but fought back. And she doesn't realize that the more she is silent and patient, the more they will pester her. Siana asked her if they were doing something scary. Juju asked if she was seriously asking her about this, or if she was being silly. That's it. For a former princess who was abused by her stepmother for years, this cockiness seemed nothing more than a cute prank. Siana was confused as to what it was. But it seems that this is really a war for territory of influence. Jana is the daughter of a wealthy merchant, famous throughout the empire, so it wouldn't be surprising if she got the position of head maid without any stress at all. Her friends are only with her because they want to bask in her glory and benefit. Even if so, everything is decided by its origin. She is guaranteed a position. Juju did not understand what a rotten world this was. Juju, like her, is a junior maid, unusually tall and strong. She has good makings for a maid. Her origin means nothing now. She cannot guarantee that she will one day be promoted to head maid. But she can't believe that she has no patronage at all. Juju said that she was a foreigner. If she was accepted as a junior maid, then she had someone to turn to. This surprised her a little, but she immediately thought that there must be someone. Crown Prince. It was he who made her, the heiress of a damaged royal dynasty, a maid in his palace. Perhaps because she, forgetting about royal pride, fell on her face and begged to be spared. Maybe it's mercy, or maybe the crown prince thought it was funny. Fleeting sympathy, the whim of someone who has all the power in the world. Most likely, this means absolutely nothing. Siana said no, she doesn't have any patronage. The prince asked Sol how this girl was doing. Sol, aide-de-camp to Crown Prince Rashid. He is already annoyed by the prince's appearance. Everyone who saw him, even from afar, could not take their eyes off him. Even enemies sometimes, admiring him, missed the blow of the sword. He knows him well. They grew up together. Perhaps because he is the only one on whom his charms do not work. But he constantly sees what idiots people sometimes turn into when they see his face. He reported that Siana was coping. They say she is a little clumsy because she is not yet used to work, but she is honest, smart, and a quick learner. But she is still very far from being promoted. The prince understood everything. Sol asked His Highness why he was interested in this. The man said he didn't even know and thought it was guilt, because he invaded her country and destroyed her family. How many did he kill? And I never thought about it. Sol didn't understand what was wrong with him. The adjutant asked the prince to speak honestly, because he knows the weaknesses of His Highness, and he cannot pass by the miniature, big-eyed, and innocent person, the so-called bloody Prince Rashid. This cruel, handsome man is actually a big lover of animals. Saul has seen this many times, but he never ceases to be amazed. Actually, after he told him about it, he realized that she really was like that. Apparently, this is what caused such feelings in her. The prince hoped that she would learn the craft of a maid. This is a hint that he should help her. Saul told the prince that her abilities had not yet been proven, and she should not be made a maid. Saul asked why not see if she could actually become a good maid. No meat again. Sienna was shocked that they weren't trying to control what she ate, so she wouldn't lose her sophistication. You don't even need to think about it here. The main character did not believe that she could eat everything she could. This is just paradise. Jana said that she probably came from a hungry and poor country. No wonder she likes these tops so much. Sienna thought that she was trying to trick her, or maybe not. But this is somehow not enough, or she might say something else. Jana did not understand what was wrong with this fool. Usually when she does this, everyone starts crying, and she doesn't understand what this facial expression even means. You'd think she fell in love with her. Jean said Sienna acts like she's saying something nice and interesting and thinks it's witty. The maid did not understand what kind of slave mentality these foreigners had. It seems the crown prince broke her. Juju came up and said that this would not do, and asked Jana if she had already warned her. She told Jana not to interfere with the quietness. Otherwise, there will be consequences. Jana said that she had already forgiven her for her behavior many times, but she could not understand that it was out of pity. The girl said that because of her size, Juju thinks that she is in charge, but she is not. Jana is in charge here. Juju said that she is in charge only in terms of idiocy. It looked like a fight between a bear and a hyena. A girl came into the room and asked what the noise was, and asked if they were quarreling. This is Reef, the head maid and newbie instructor, and the maids immediately said that this was not so. She said that she didn't care at all, even death, as long as she didn't get into trouble. The authorities convey the message. There will be a tea party in a few days, and they are required to welcome guests. It was not clear why they, the junior maids, should greet the guests. Service must be impeccable, following all the rules of etiquette, without a hitch. As a rule, this role is assigned to the junior maid, who is recognized as the best. They asked who would come to the tea party. They believed that she was the sophisticated wife of some aristocrat or a beautiful foreign princess. But the girl said that these would be people who grow fruit for the imperial table. The fruits these women farmers brought were always of excellent quality. Therefore, in honor of their hard and noble work, His Highness ordered them to be rewarded with a tea party in the palace. All these days they will practice etiquette. So in the morning they should not be late for classes, and they were just happy. The maid was furious and did not understand why she should serve some peasant women. Jana said that for Sienna, this kind of work is just right. When will she show herself as a real maid, if not by serving? Since the guests are just peasants, they set this task to them, the junior maids. The senior maids wouldn't waste time on this, and yet it's strange. In the next morning, Reef said that today she will explain tea etiquette to them. They are, of course, junior maids, but still belong to the palace servants. They must listen carefully so as not to disgrace the emperor later. The maids were all attentive. Juju said that this was really luck. They are just learning to be maids, but they are already given real jobs. She really wanted to learn. However, zeal and ability do not always correspond to each other. Riff asked Juju how many times she should repeat that when you pour, you can't spill the tea. Jana said to look at Juju, because she probably had never even drunk tea in her life. Definitely no black tea, because she probably loves beer like her dad. Juju was simply furious, and Reef told Jana that she was next and ordered her to get started. It wasn't bad. Jana was told that she was just smart because she was so good at it. Jana said it was nothing. Of course, this is nothing, because she was taught by the best etiquette teacher in the city, and it cost Daddy a hefty bag of gold. It is not appropriate for her to remain a student for long. Jean decided that she would become Her Majesty's chief chambermaid. This is certain. Reef said it wasn't bad considering it was her first time. When Sienna was a princess, she knew that only the best was chosen to become Her Majesty's maid, and for the slightest offense the queen punished them mercilessly. And those maids were truly the best at what they did. Their graceful manners sometimes surpassed those of some noble ladies. They tried to radiate calm and sedateness so as not to irritate the queen when tea was served. But in comparison with them, these girls are completely incompetent. Next up is Sienna. Reef said to pour some tea, but even for this, they are not kicked out. Sienna is no longer a princess, and she doesn't want to stand out from others by trying too hard. Just like that, a thin and long stream of tea. It turned out a little awkward. Siana doesn't want to be the best. We need to be more modest. They were all glad to have the opportunity to learn etiquette, but no one canceled their duties. And after the lesson, they returned to work. Cleaning, kindling, washing dishes. The girls did a good job. Leftover bread is a favorite food for hungry maids. Siana was very grateful. That's why she loves working in the kitchen so much. How lucky she is that this is her responsibility. And thanks to Juju, they finished early today. Only something is wrong with her today. Silent. Siana asked Juju if she was hungry. She asked for lessons. Siana hoped she didn't notice that she had poured the tea poorly on purpose. Siana said it was difficult, but fortunately she managed not to be reprimanded. Juju said that she envies her. In fact, Juju received the most reprimands from Madam today. Juju has always been praised, but now Siana sees the opposite for the first time. This is probably her first failure. The maid said that she was ashamed to admit, but Jana was right. Juju never drank tea, and she never managed to learn anything very quickly. Everyone saw that she was the worst at it. They're probably worried that she'll ruin the whole tea ceremony. The crown prince made Siana his maid. But Juju is the only one who cares about her. She is a maid just like Siana. Therefore, if she has something to help, then she definitely should. Siana asked if she wanted her to teach her. Siana said that she will practice with her. Juju asked if she really wanted to teach her. Juju threw herself into her arms and said that she was so good. All she did was scrub the floors every day like crazy. She didn't think Siana was so sympathetic. The main character did not understand whether this was a compliment or an insult. The next day they began training. After lunch in the dining room for the servants, Siana told Juju to watch carefully. You need to take enough boiling water to preheat the cups before serving. You need 1 spoon of tea leaves in the teapot. In theory, the process is not complicated. After adding the tea leaves, wait a little and start pouring. But it needs to be honed in practice. Siana told Juju that she was great because she was doing much better. At least she didn't mix up the sequence of actions, so he will be more confident in front of guests. Juju asked again. Siana said yes, because she didn't spill a drop of tea this time. The girl said that it was all thanks to her. He is a much better teacher than the other maids. Siana said it was due to effort, and she studies very well. During the learning process, they became best friends. Juju's father is a miner. He has 13 children. He works constantly, but they don't have enough to live on. This surprised Siana, and she asked again. And she wants to help, and that's why she became a maid. They say the senior maids are paid well. Siana noted that she was a good daughter. Juju said that if she is a good daughter, then of course she wants her brothers and sisters to eat their fill. And then she asked Siana how she got there. If she is a foreigner, then she must be doing worse than she is. Siana said that it wasn't that long ago that she was a princess. If she says that, it will only complicate things. She said that the crown prince made her a maid because the state where she lived no longer exists. This surprised Juju, and she asked if she was talking about Crown Prince Rashid, about the bloody crown prince, invincible in battle. Siana confirmed this. Juju asked if she was sure that she had seen him and asked if it was really him. The girl confirmed this. Juju was simply delighted. Siana heard gossip from the maids about him. He is a very famous person here. They say his face is so beautiful, as if it were carved from marble, and his hair shines with pearls when the rays of the sun hit it. His enchanting eyes are like the Milky Way. They say he is a handsome man. Juju said that she so dreams of seeing him. Siana said that's right, he is very handsome. It looks like the rumors were true, but for all his beauty, he is so cruel. That's what people say. Siana said she was right, and he killed Siana's entire family. Juju apologized for asking such questions. She couldn't even imagine that this had happened to them. Siana knew she couldn't tell the truth. The main character said that it was okay because she didn't care. Her relatives constantly offended and mocked her. Juju didn't understand how this was even possible. How can she not care that her family was killed? She apologized and said that it would be better if she had her tongue cut out for asking such a question. She will react like this, so she can't answer directly. Siana said that time just passed and everything was forgotten, and she asked her not to worry about her. Juju asked if she was saying this just so she wouldn't feel guilty. The maid hugged Siana and said that she was very kind. It was a half-truth. Since then, Juju's attitude towards her has become even better. Noon, working hours. Jana tried to say something to Sivna, but then she saw Juja. She said, Just try to say something bad to her, and she will pull her filthy mouth out like a rope and tie it to that column. She just wanted to ask the time. This is ridiculous. Juju also constantly feeds her. Juju handed the candy to Sienna and said that it was already big. But a button like her needs to eat well to grow. But sweets don't make people grow. Sienna said the candy is so sweet. Sienna said that this is not like some stale bread. How could this prince kill the family of such a cutie? He's crazy and a killer. Juju was very angry with him. Sienna felt like she could hear her thoughts. It's all written all over his face. Sienna even feels guilty that she now hates the crown prince because of her. But it's so nice to have someone who is always ready to be on her side. If he is so bad, he probably hears such insults all the time, and he will pretend that he didn't hear anything. Saul asked the prince what was wrong with him. The prince said that his ears were itching. Someone is cursing her. There is such a superstition in the empire. Well, this is funny. If that were the case, their ears would itch around the clock, and all year round. He would roll on the floor from the excruciating itch. Of course, the Appletons have the best apples. He agrees with him that they are good, but why did they invite farmers to the palace? Saul said that he would now guess that the essence of Sienna's test was hidden in these apples. He guessed right. He said that he would do her the honor and let her play with his pets all day long. Saul apologized and said he would refuse, because such a prize is worse than no prize at all. The prince said that he was sorry that he did not even understand how cool these animals were. Coincidentally, Baroness Appleton wished to attend the tea party. And he waits. Can't wait for this event. The day of tea has arrived. Since it was necessary not to disgrace the name of the imperial family, the junior maids prepared for the tea party in advance, and very carefully, they had a lot to do. Early in the morning, it was necessary to tidy up the lawns in the garden. Arrange white tables according to the number of guests. To keep the tables from looking too modest, each table needed a vase of freshly cut hydrangeas. Here's the last one. Sienna thought these flowers were very beautiful. It turns out that not only the farm workers will be at the tea party, but also the owner of the apple nursery herself, Baroness Appleton. Somehow everyone perked up. Now their task is not only to receive commoner guests with dignity, they simply must make a good impression on the Baroness. Juju said that Jana is just a doll today. She has such beautiful hair clips and elegant makeup. But Juju thinks she went too far. Sheena thought she was completely crazy. Modesty is sometimes the best decoration. Sienna asked if this is also why she is so neat to impress the Baroness. Juju said that this was her first important guest. She wanted to at least do something to look a little more beautiful. If she were great at serving guests, that would be great. Still, Juju had a good teacher. Juju said with a smile that she was also a good student, and they will succeed together. When the gate opened and the guests entered, the junior maids greeted them solemnly. The women were shocked that this was the imperial palace. She wore her best dress to this tea party, but still. Reef told the lady to follow her. She would show them their places. After the greeting, the maids seat the guests in their seats. Sienna doesn't understand who is holding them back. Jana didn't understand if she really wouldn't come. Jean wanted to serve Baroness Appleton, which is why she was so worried. How predictable it is. And it's not just Jana, it's the way they behave. All the maids behave like noble people. They were grateful for such a reception. This even confuses and makes guests feel awkward. It's easy to impress ordinary women. After all, they are of low birth and not vested with power. The tea ceremony will begin only when all the guests arrive. And, as a rule, it is at the end that the guest everyone has been waiting for arrives. Baroness Appleton. Sienna noticed that she was a very stately lady. Jana immediately fell at her feet and welcomed her to the imperial palace. She looked at the other maids as if to say that the Baroness was hers. Everyone wanted to stay away from her. Jana said that she would see her off and asked her to follow her. Rich rose scent. Is this really Agilin Rosé? This perfume is very popular among noble ladies. But she thought that Baroness Appleton belonged to the poorest part of the aristocracy. If she can afford this perfume, then she is richer than expected. The maids were shocked by how spectacular she was. She's a dream. The wife of a baron who owns a fruit tree nursery. They envied Jana that she snatched up such a wonderful guest. It looks like the woman came with her too. Sienna doesn't understand why they are whispering so much. She, of course, can serve a commoner, even if not a baroness. But this woman is very ugly. She won't serve her. The tea ceremony will not begin until the last guest arrives. This means that not a single guest can be left unattended. Sienna welcomed the woman into the imperial palace. Sienna said to follow her, and she takes her to the table. Each table has 3, 4 people and is served by 1 maid. When all the guests are seated, the tea ceremony finally begins. The lady never thought she would have the honor of attending such an event. This is not a tea party, but a tea party in the imperial palace. The lady thought that she would grow old working in an apple orchard, but here there is such luxury. When the lady returns home, she will brag to her husband about where she has been. He will turn green with envy. Simple conversations and honest ones. No gossip. No one's bones are washed. Perhaps that's why she feels so at ease now, after everything she's been through in the kingdom. However, this does not mean that they will be so tolerant of their mistakes. Siana provided the lady with the main dessert. This is chocolate made from con cacao. It melts in your mouth. Everyone was shocked that this was the same chocolate. This is a dessert served to princesses and queens. Even the gloomy prince will become kinder from this delicacy. A magical dessert, chocolate. She had only heard about it, but never thought she would try it. She decided to try. A huge wave of sweetness. The lady simply drowned in it. The dessert was incredibly delicious. It really melts in your mouth. They did not understand what to do because he was getting smaller and smaller. She can understand their reaction since this is the first time they have tasted chocolate. Siana became very interested in whether that lady liked it. She approached her and asked if she needed a napkin. The lady immediately turned away. Siana asked if she needed help. That woman said that nothing was needed. The ladies turned to the maid and asked if she could have a napkin too. It's really not convenient somehow. Her mind seemed to go blank when she tasted the chocolate. They are also not happy to serve, probably serving hillbillies like them. Siana said that it is not so, because they are all dear guests in her eyes, and asks them to enjoy the tea party and be calm. The lady said that if they wanted anything else, they could not be shy. The ladies asked for tea. The tea is very fragrant, probably because this is tea for the imperial table. Another lady said she didn't see any difference from the tea she drinks at home. They say it's tedious to try to understand what the essence of elite tea is, and they can understand something about this. Of all of them, only 1 lady can understand such things. The lady believed it to be Baroness Appleton. Siana apologized for the fact that they did not know her ladyship by sight. The Baroness had only recently married Baron Appleton. She had not yet explored the apple orchard, so they had not seen her. They say the Baron fell in love with her. She wondered if she was really so beautiful. And it turned out that she really is a very beautiful woman, knows etiquette inside and out. Baroness Appleton seems to be one of those people. Jana must be very careful and not make mistakes. If she messed up in front of such an important person, the tea party would be ruined. She wanted others to see how to work. She received a high-status guest, unlike the others. She is Jana, the daughter of a diamond magnate. She is now in her place, next to an important person. And let these hang around the village women. She provided chocolate, an exquisite delicacy made by imperial confectioners. It is made from very valuable and rare ingredients. Jean told the Baroness to try. Lady Appleton asked how much longer she could tolerate her behavior. The Baroness spoke of her arrogant greeting and appraising gaze. She doesn't even mention that she served her dessert as if she was doing her a favor. Jana doesn't even know how to pour tea properly. The Baroness asked how long she could endure this rudeness. The maid apologized and said that she would try to be more careful. Jana understood that she had been careless. Her etiquette teacher was a nobleman, and she was always praised for how smart she was. The Baroness said that this meant that the servants in the imperial palace were good for nothing, and she asked what she should do with it. They say that servants who fail to cope with their duties must be severely punished. She said that Jana would be flogged with rods all night so that she would remember her lesson, or maybe they'll cut out her tongue. The Baroness asked what punishment she deserved. Jana didn't know what to do because she was so afraid. Siana rushed to apologize. She apologized for the fact that their abilities did not suit her refined taste, and she asked to be lenient towards them. The Baroness said that if everything could be solved with just a bow and an apology, then everything would be very easy to live. And I asked her if she was telling her to continue to endure this impudence. The Baroness did not understand why this should be so. Siana said that this tea party was organized by the imperial family, and she asked whether the owners would be offended if the guests were unhappy, and she doesn't think she wants it. The Baroness asked if this was a threat. Siana asked how she dared to threaten such a dear guest. She's just trying to clear up a misunderstanding to keep everyone happy. The Baroness agreed, and she said that if she fails to respect her, then she will receive the punishment of the real culprit. Siana said that she understood her. Siana said that today they are serving Ingrid's Earl Grey tea. The main thing now is to become a real maid. The taste of black tea is affected by the quantity. The composition is important, but so is the correct dosage. In the absence of scales, it is impossible to accurately weigh how much to put in the teapot. The tea may turn out either bitter or watery. The spoon should be without a slide. Pour slowly so that the leaves gather into clumps. At the right temperature, you need to start pouring at the right time. Siana asked her if she would like to try. Raise the teapot high so that the stream of tea mixes with the air. This gives a richness of aroma. Be careful not to spill a drop onto the saucer. Movements are smooth and calm. The water temperature and amount of tea are perfect. Siana said that if she likes it harder, she can tell. However, the rest is a matter of taste. No matter how ideally the tea is brewed, no matter how elite it is, if it doesn't suit her taste, then everything will be bad. The Baroness said it was great. She did it. Siana is glad she liked it. If she needs anything else, she just has to say it. The Baroness said that she would wait on her. The created tension instantly dissipated, and the rest of the tea party passed without incident. Siana apologized to the lady because she had to look after them, but that's what happened. The lady said it was no big deal. This is even better. If the Baroness had gotten angry, who knows what would have happened then? She was so scared that she didn't even want to eat chocolate. Thanks to her, they enjoyed their tea peacefully. Siana was grateful to the ladies for their kindness. The lady wished the maids good luck. The maid said that they wanted to tell her something. She said that indeed, she had something to think about. The woman told Siana that she herself could see that she was not at all suitable for high society. She was afraid that she would hear many words of disdain addressed to her when she arrived at the imperial palace. She felt completely uncomfortable, but she didn't expect something completely different to happen. Thanks to her, she dared to go and did not stay in the mistress's carriage. She drank fragrant tea with sweet chocolate and spent time in an interesting conversation with her friends. She will never forget this happy day. Maids should never show any personal attitude towards guests. This has been the case since ancient times. The maid should be faceless and polite. She's so happy now. It was an honor to serve her at table. But now it is very difficult for her to hide her feelings. After tea, the regular workday began again for the junior maids. Early in the morning, they prepared for tea. They served the guests under the scorching sun, and they still had work to do until sunset. This is a typical working day for a maid. In reality, a maid's workday is completely different. It's late evening, and there's a lot of work to do. Reef said they did a good job. Many were so tired and simply dying in the same time. Juju said that it was very cool that you could finish eating after the guests. Siana knew it was imperial chocolate, bitter cocoa and butter of the highest quality. Siana asked Juju why she wasn't eating. She said that if she eats sweets, she will lose muscle mass. Siana said she must have had a hard time at the tea party. It's very difficult. Juju asked if she noticed. Juju was so worried that she could hardly cope with her duties. The lady only said to look at Juju. They really need a girl like that on the farm. Those huge biceps. She can lift the table with ease. They asked her if she wanted to give up this ignoble occupation and go to work for them in the apple orchard. Juju said that they were completely uninterested in her servant skills. Siana was told that she did a great job, and she helped them all out. She did it so well. They started asking if she could teach them the tea ceremony. These girls treated her like nothing ever since they found out that she was a foreigner from a captured kingdom. Just like that, they suddenly changed their attitude. Well, arrogance is the second happiness, especially when she's a maid. Jana asked if they were both crazy. She asked, so what if she was good at serving at a tea party? Why did they immediately swear allegiance to some foreigner from the conquered kingdom? Jana asked if they were ashamed. They asked Jana if she knew what shame was. She thought she knew, because throughout the tea party, she was quieter than water and lower than the grass. The tea party almost ended in complete failure because of the way she made a fool of herself in front of the Baroness. It's a shame that Siana had to correct her mistakes. They could all have been whipped because of Jana, and perhaps even fired. And instead of apologizing, she now tells them this. A girl needs to learn to keep her nose to the wind and understand her position. Jana told them to be friends with this mob now. She doesn't care. And Baroness Appleton really stood out among the others. Such a regal posture. Not just posture. Her manners, her gait. How much true dignity they have. Maybe she's not just a baroness. Saul was surprised to see Madame. Like a sharp blade. He said that if she constantly comes to the prince's room at night, people will misunderstand. She is strict and full of grace. And she asked how he would order her to forget about his highness. Like she's a princess. Siana didn't understand what was wrong with her, This is all nonsense. Sol told her to forget it because he was only outwardly normal. But in reality, he only thinks about soft squirrel paws. He immediately apologized and was shocked that he said it out loud. The Baroness told him to continue. It was very interesting. The Baroness told the knight to get out of the way. She thought that he would tearfully ask her for forgiveness. Now it's clear who the princess is. Sol said that he would order a bath to be prepared. He bought a magic stone, the price of which is equal to the average estate, all for the sake of pretending to be a woman for half a day. The magic stone, super luxury level, modifies the body for 12 hours. He really is crazy. Sol asked how his visit went, and he asked if Siana had disappointed him. Rashid said no, and added that he was confident in her from the very beginning. But she even exceeded his expectations. It is not easy for her to adopt the maid's style of behavior. However, she has delicate, thin hands. She modestly averts her eyes so as not to meet his gaze. Incredibly, she is perfect. She embodies the heights of etiquette and courtesy, and her grace cannot be hidden under the clothes of a maid. Sol thought the prince was crazy and did not understand what he was talking about. He wondered if he even understood that she had every reason to hate him. He is not friendly with logic. He said he was going because he needed to trim his nails nom-nom. Sol said he couldn't go because his birthday party was about to start. He was asked what kind of girls he likes, and the guy said that he was absolutely sure that everything that is not cute in this world must die. A man with disgusting misanthropy, but at the same time he has amazing insight. But that doesn't mean Sol can say something like the princess is cute, and yet it's her calling to be a maid. Sol hoped the prince wasn't going to bring her here. He didn't understand what kind of nonsense this was, and who even takes princesses from conquered countries as personal maids. But this crazy guy can do that. This is too much. He decided to remind the prince that he killed Siana's family. She's calm, but that doesn't mean she won't do anything when she's his maid. The prince said that she had passed the test, and he smiled sarcastically. At first glance, everything is in order, and there are no stains, but there is a hole. This is how she uses the art of embroidery, which she has studied since she was 5 years old. Still, years of practice make themselves felt. Reef told Siana that they had a guest. Appleton wants to meet with her. Seems like a tea party. It went smoothly, and she doesn't understand why she came. Siana believed that she had made a mistake. If not, then it's not clear. The Baroness apologized for disturbing her and asked if she was surprised. This time, they will get to know her. As it should be. She is Magdalena Appleton. She made a very good impression on her at the tea party. The Baroness greeted the maid Siana. She wanted to show her gratitude with a gift. She asked if Siana would give her some time. Siana asked again, is whether she is Baroness Appleton. The woman confirmed this and asked if she would like to sit down and talk. Siana was shocked that she was the Baroness. But if so, then she does not understand who that noble lady is. She never said her name. Siana apologized and said that she made a terrible mistake because she didn't know who she was. Siana was very ashamed, and she did not understand how she could have miscalculated like that. The lady very much asked for forgiveness if she had caused her any offense. The lady said not to worry because she herself came incognito. That's how it should have been. The imperial family invites you to a tea party. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. The Baroness didn't know whether to go, because of her appearance, she prefers not to go out in public. She was already thinking about giving up this tea party, because she already knows what rumors will spread. If she comes to the imperial palace, everyone will be talking about how Baron Appleton's wife can look so terrible. With such an unsightly and unkempt appearance, she belongs among her gardeners. She simply couldn't allow this to happen. Here's another letter from the imperial family. What if someone else received this letter? They asked her to attend a tea party incognito. This was the Baroness's chance. This opportunity was as attractive as a ripe apple on a tree. If she doesn't say who she is, then no one will bother her. And from the moment she arrived at the tea party, she already knows everything. Even dressed in a threadbare maid uniform, with no makeup on her face, she is full of grace and dignity. Siana made a great impression on the Baroness. She thought how great it would be to be as graceful as her. So from that day on, she sat down to study etiquette books. She had so much fun at the tea party because she surrounded her with care, so she would like to greet her properly. The Baroness is very grateful for this wonderful tea party. Siana was shocked that the Baroness greeted the maid with a bow. All wrong, she's holding her hand wrong. And the stand didn't work out either. And yet, Siana feels warmth from her. It's just a greeting. But he told her more than 1,000 words. She is loved and knows how to give people joy. Therefore, Siana is no one to judge her. Siana said there was no need for gratitude. She treats her with respect. Therefore, she will definitely reciprocate her feelings. Siana was grateful to Madame and said that she would never forget her kindness. The lady asked why they thought Snow White died after eating an apple. The lady said that if an apple like this were poisoned, she would still eat it. These apples are very tasty. They were just fighting for these apples. For maids who worked their butts off and ate only stale bread. Baroness Appleton, who gave them honey apples, became no less than a goddess. They all said they loved the Baroness. They really are delicious. This means that this noble lady is a member of the imperial family. Silver hair and violet eyes, just like the crown prince. Siana believed it was his princess sister. But why should she come to a tea party where the maids are served by half-educated maids? She believed that she had no friends at all. Reef said that even if the end of the world is near, she still won't give up the honey apple. From this day on, Siana receives the position of head maid. This surprised Siana so much that she dropped the apple to the floor. Jana shouted that this was complete nonsense. It's not just about her. None of them understand her decision at all. She was telling Reef to explain herself. She said there was a tea party a couple of days ago. In fact, it was a test of their abilities. And Reef believes that no one has any doubt who did the best job. And she declares this topic closed. Reef told Siana that she should be at the Ruby Castle at dawn. Because she will serve Princess Aris, this is all. They all wanted to become head maids. And the main character came later than everyone else, but she was the first to be accepted. Siana didn't want to stand out and didn't understand how it happened. Now everyone will hate Siana. It seems that now she will have to get used to this attitude. But everyone started congratulating Siana. She is now the princess's maid, and they envied her. Siana was already starting to feel like a fool because she was making up all sorts of things. She felt really awkward. The lady said she was really sad. But if she had not intervened, the tea party would have ended in complete failure. The lady may not have risen to the rank of senior maid, but she doesn't want to be envious. But Siana treated them to these wonderful apples. Siana was grateful. She forgot that these were completely different people, not those who surrounded her in the kingdom. The lady said that when she receives her first salary, she will bring them more tasty things. The maids were shocked by this. Jana said that they were full of fools, and they don't mind hypocrisy anywhere. She screamed that they were crazy. The maid did not understand how she, with such an incomprehensible origin, could be made a maid before her. She didn't understand this at all. Juju told Jana that she was talking nonsense. Jana told them to just wait, and she would tell her daddy everything. Jana behaved simply awful. But so much the better. They will get more apples. They decided to eat together. Jana yelled at everyone. But the maids quickly forgot about it amid delicious food and conversation. How delicious the apples were. Fortunately, she doesn't have much luggage at all. Siana didn't even imagine that she would move somewhere from here. But starting tomorrow, she will already be the senior maid of the imperial court. You can stay with the junior maids for as long as they say. At least forever. However, anything is better than being a princess. She gets very tired, but it's good work. Siana didn't understand who was there. It was Juju. Siana asked her if something happened. Juju just wanted to give her a gift in honor of her promotion. She leaves them, and now she hastily bought something. The maid really hoped that she would like her. Maids are allowed to preen themselves a little, so there you go. Juju asked her not to dare think that she was worse than anyone. She must hold her head high. Junior maids don't get paid much, but she bought her a gift. Juju probably bought this gift with her savings. She doesn't have to say it. She already understands it. Siana feels like her heart is being pinched. Juju did not understand what was wrong with her and believed that she did not like the hairpin. She simply asked the saleswoman to choose the most beautiful one. Siana threw herself into Juju's arms and was very grateful to her, and she said that she was very beautiful. Juju smiled and said that they were friends. It's so warm next to Juju. She told Siana not to cry and to go to sleep. Riff asked if Princess Aris had her own maid. The lady said she was, and it was her. She said she just asked for a transfer because it was just unbearable. Reef asked what it was that she wanted. The maid asked for a cup of tea and said that only those who were there know what's wrong with this work. She said it was better to scrub floors and run errands. There is no such maid in nature that would suit a princess. At least in their empire, there is definitely no such person. Siana was already ready. She was the princess of a defeated kingdom and became a maid of the imperial court. Now only success awaits her. The lady told Siana that she was sorry to disappoint her, but the work would be very grueling. The maid said that no one wants to stay in this position for long. She said that if she had the opportunity, she would have left long ago. Siana said she understands, and it must be very difficult to cope alone. She said it was very difficult, especially when you need to interact with the princess herself. The lady said she wasn't just picky. Princess Aris is the most cruel monster in the empire. One day, the emperor took a fancy to a dancer named Rosemary. He gave her a small palace with a garden, the Ruby Palace. Her daughter, the 7th princess, lives here. Siana couldn't believe that this was really true. The lady told the princess that she was welcoming her new maid. She is treated this way probably because her mother is of low birth. The maid almost fainted. She has absolutely no chance of growing up beautiful and healthy. In such a situation, the lady asked why she was not afraid. Siana apologized and said she didn't understand what happened. She said that now she will do what she wanted. The princess did not understand what she was saying. Siana asked to be allowed to introduce herself to her. Siana is her new maid. It's an honor to meet her. The princess did not believe that this could happen. She doesn't understand at all why she isn't afraid. Aris said she was boring, and she ordered her to leave because she doesn't like maids. Siana didn't understand what was wrong with her. The maid was very grateful to Siana that she was now free. She wanted to get out of here for so long, but she couldn't because there was no replacement for her. And thanks to Siana, she is now free. Siana asked if she would show her how to work here. She said there was nothing to show. You just need to take care of the princess. All the same, it will only be her and this little devil. Siana is alone at work. The owner hates her, and she just doesn't know what to do. However, she must fulfill her duties. To begin with, Siana decided to clean up. Even if there is no plowing here, she still has to remove what she can. How nice it is to see the result. The princess said that she was doing nonsense. Siana asked Aris how she could help her. There she goes again, treating Aris like she's a real princess. No one had ever treated her like that. The princess told Siana not to pretend. The maid did not understand anything, because she will still run away at the first opportunity. Siana was shocked. Saul wondered why the Ruby Palace. However, that's not what she needs to worry about right now. The prince said that he would not mind bringing her to his palace. Saul realized that it was better for her to retreat before he changed his mind. Saul said that he would hand over the maids to the boss and told the heir to rest. The prince said that he wanted to bring her here, but he didn't even listen to the end. She has a sweet smile, very sweet. So the Ruby Palace is very nearby, and he thinks they will meet soon. Siana said it was terrible. It was a secret, and she doesn't understand how Her Highness knows about it. Siana said she didn't care. She is just a servant and receives a salary. Here she will be paid more. Therefore, she has no reason to refuse this job. So while she works here, he will try to serve her and take care of her. Siana is her maid. Aris asked if it would continue to be like this if she did this, and kicked the bucket of water. The maid calmly said yes. Aris began to break everything. Siana did not react at all. Aris did not understand what kind of strange aunt she was. Siana told the princess that she had brought breakfast. The princess doesn't want milk, vegetables, and she asked me to bring her some cakes. The maid told the princess that eating cake for breakfast was not at all healthy. Aris is also a picky eater. Siana said that she wouldn't grow well if she didn't eat well. Aris said to look at her because she was growing normally. Siana was shocked by how skinny she was. Aris said that she is already 10 years old. No matter how difficult this girl is, she cannot be treated like this. Even if there are some excuses for it, Siana decided that this would not work and minimal care should be provided. She said she wasn't lying to her. She said that if she didn't eat well, she would grow up sickly. Therefore, she must eat, and when she has eaten everything, she will give her something sweet. Aris thought she was strange. Siana said that then she would have to brush her teeth, so she'd better give her sweets tomorrow. Aris said that she lied to her. The best time of the day is morning. The birds are chirping and the sun is rising. Siana told Aris that her delicious breakfast is ready. The princess said that she was sleepy and told the maid to leave. Aris screamed and asked what it was, because she wants a normal breakfast. Siana said that was all that was left. She ate a butter sandwich and baked chicken herself. Aris asked if she was crazy and didn't understand why she ate it. She simply obeys the rules of the imperial palace. Usually servants are expected to finish eating after their masters. Aris refused breakfast, so Siana ate it. Getting a fussy child to eat is easy. She uses the proven method of, if you don't eat your food quickly, she will eat it herself. Any child stops being capricious when you make him understand the value of food. Aris said she didn't like it. Siana was not starved for educational purposes. She said to eat for health. But the educational activities did not end there. Siana was glad that Aris left her the vegetables that she loves so much. The method is this. The food she doesn't want to eat is the one she likes best. Aris started screaming that she wasn't finished yet. Aris realized that this meant that the servants were finishing their master's food and said to see that there was nothing left and she would be hungry. Siana said that she was great and they had the best princess. And she immediately apologized for behaving inappropriately. The princess said that she had already eaten, so she should go away and stop disturbing her. Aris didn't understand why. They figured out healthy eating. Now we need to sort out hygiene. Siana walked over and told the princess it was time to take a bath. She didn't want this at all, because she hates water. The brush pricks, and the foam generally infuriates her. Siana said that if she doesn't wash herself, she will attract bugs that like to live in dirty places. Beetles eat hair and skin. Of course they poop, and sometimes even fart. Aris said that this was a lie. She had never seen anything like this. Siana asked her if she felt her head itching. It's like someone small is fidgeting in your hair. It's the bugs that eat it. Aris was simply disgusted. She only takes a bath when she is invited to parties in the palace. Very rarely. But she doesn't want to be eaten by bugs. It turns out that this thing is not prickly, but even pleasant. The foam does not get into the eyes and does not sting. And she likes the smell of rosemary oil. Siana even knew what she was thinking. And lastly, brushing your teeth. There are also bugs in the mouth, and they feed on food debris stuck to the teeth. But that was not all. You need to dry your hair because beetles also like wet hair. Aris said that she was exhausted today. She's so tired. Siana was grateful to the princess for her patience. It's time to go to sleep, and Siana will read her a story. Aris started screaming at her to get out, because it haunts her even here. Siana said that she was very sorry, because she just wanted to help her sleep by reading a very interesting and exciting story. But since that's what she wants, Aris abruptly told her to stop. She agreed, but told her to tell her quickly. Once upon a time, there lived a diamond princess. This princess, as her name suggests, loved sparkling diamonds. She collected diamonds from all over the world and decorated her outfits with them. The princess herself shone like a diamond. One day, the princess heard a rumor that an evil dragon lives in the west, and he has a diamond, the rarest and most beautiful in the world. The princess wanted to take possession of this diamond so much that she went on a journey through the thorn bushes and swamps. And when she finally arrived at the dragon tower, the dragon looked at her and said that she was very beautiful. The dragon looked like a huge lizard. Aris said that she did not understand anything. Siana said goodnight to the princess. She will take care of her so that she grows up healthy and strong, because it is her duty as the princess's maid. Everything has changed since this maid appeared in the palace. Siana asked the princess not to step. She just planted the seeds here. You can't step on them, otherwise they will be damaged. Aris asked what flowers she planted. Siana said roses, sunflowers, and hydrangeas, and many more different colors. It's a nice sunny spot and the soil is soft. You just need to water it, and then the flowers will grow. Siana said that when they bloom, she will make her a beautiful wreath. Aris didn't understand why she continued to pretend that she considered her a princess. She believed that the maid was up to something. The princess did not understand how she could bring the maid to clean water. Then she noticed Siana's hairpin. Aris asked why she was so happy. When she turned around, she saw that the princess was wearing the hairpin that Juju had given her. She realized that she was completely worked up and did not notice how she dropped it. Siana apologized for disturbing her and said that the hair clip she was wearing was hers. She probably dropped it while she was caring for the flowers. And she asked to return it, but Aris didn't understand why. This is her palace, and everything that is here is hers. The maid said that this thing was dear to her, and she asks again to give it back. The princess was shocked that she suddenly became so strict, and she said that if she wants a hairpin, she should catch up with her. Aris believed that she would never catch her. No maid can do this. The princess did not understand how she could run so fast, and she thought she was crazy. The maid said that taking other people's things and not giving them back is very bad, and she once again asks to return her hairpin to her. Aris saw that she was trying her best to pretend that she perceived her as a princess, but she knows that all her promises will be empty, and she shouted that she wouldn't give it up. She recalled how a new maid came to her and said that she would take care of her. Aris was very grateful. The princess felt very warm. She looked like her mother, and she asked him to take care of her. They reported to her that she was taking things out of the Ruby Palace and selling them. The maid is accused of theft. The court will pronounce her sentence. The maid asked the princess to save her. The princess ordered them to let her go. Aris was surprised that she was leaving. The maid said that she thought she would be of no use since she was a princess. But she's a worthless bastard. The maid said that this princess doesn't even have a mother, and therefore she has no rights. Probably because she's a commoner. She didn't know that this position was so unpromising. She is not her nanny. Siana told Aris that she was tired of her too, and then the princess woke up. It was just a bad dream. The princess remembered that they were all leaving and realized that Siana would also leave. She must have packed her bags last night. Therefore, the princess believes that it is better for her to leave now than to betray her later. The girl was crying. Siana came into the room and greeted the lady. She was glad to see that the princess herself stood up today. Aris immediately turned away. Siana thought she might have insomnia. If this is the case, then she better get some sleep. It's okay. When a person is sleepy, he has poor appetite and digestion too. Siana did not run away from Not, even after what she did. Aris began to cry and ask for forgiveness. Siana didn't understand anything. The princess said that she really did not want to offend her. The princess said that she should not be hated. Siana said she doesn't hate her. Aris said she was lying. Siana was already starting to think that she was too cold towards her. She told her that her action yesterday really did not please her, but she understands that children sometimes do rash things. Aris apologized, and now she feels better. The princess said that she knew that she didn't like it here. Children are sometimes surprisingly perceptive. Aris said that Siana has so much to do in the palace, and she is here alone. But she is of no use, even though she is a princess. Therefore, she will help with the laundry, and will not be capricious at food, and will share with her. The princess promised to be a good girl, and she asked Siana to stay forever, princess and maid. Siana said she would stay. But now she sees in front of her only a naughty little liar crying with remorse. She wants to help this girl grow up healthy and happy. After all, she is the princess's maid. After that, Princess Aris no longer behaved badly. Aris behaves like a good girl, watering flower beds. At noon he helps with cleaning. And with washing, well, how can I say, it doesn't help much, but at least it tries. Siana said that there is a more important task for her than cleaning and washing. She must study. Aris is studying. Siana asked not to start over, because she promised to be a good girl. Siana told her that she didn't need to read complicated adult books. She just needed to practice her writing. For this, you will need paper and a pen. The man said that ink and paper are very valuable items, and he can't just give them to her. Siana said that the princess needed it for her studies. He asked if she thought that the other maids did not try to fool him like that, because she answers with her head for every item given out. Siana didn't understand who he took her for. If she needs additional supplies, she must obtain written permission from another member of the imperial family. He spoke as if there was a member of their family who would agree to this. Aris said that if she needs it, she can ask Brother Rashid. Siana asked if she was on good terms with him. Aris said that her mother was friends with him, but he is the only one who can help her. Crown Prince Rashid. It seems to her that he will react positively to such an idea as his sister's education. It's worth a try. Siana agreed. She said she would send a letter to His Highness. The prince said that they had not seen each other for a long time and asked how she was doing. Crown Prince. They just sent the letter, and he has already arrived. Aris asked why he came, because they only asked to send a signed permission. He said what the letter said, that his beloved sister needs help, and he asked how he could not come, and he also brought permission. He doesn't know who she is, but Aris is very impatient. When a guest comes to her, she must show hospitality, and he told her to treat her brother to tea. Siana apologized and said that there was no tea in the kitchen and they had nothing to treat him with. But the prince said it was okay, because he took everything with him. I brought real Darjeeling from Astazan, and he hopes it will do. They are not far from the imperial palace, and she did not rule out that they would meet again one way or another. Siana would never have thought that under such circumstances. She didn't understand why he couldn't take his eyes off her. She was shocked that he remembered her. He liked this. Aris said that she made it so delicious. This is the most delicious tea in the world. It also doesn't have small leaves and isn't too hot. Siana said that it was the prince who brought such wonderful tea. Aris said that it turns out that she is not just a maid, and she didn't know that Siana was a princess from a neighboring kingdom. The prince said that Shian makes excellent tea. He's just as good. She wasn't wrong. Rashid actually remembers her. Aris didn't understand how they knew each other. The prince was shocked that Siana did not tell her about him. The princess said with displeasure that she was not interested in talking about him. Siana really wanted to tell the princess that she couldn't do this. This is too much. Siana did not understand what was wrong with the prince. Rashid said that he was the one who hired Siana as a maid, and he sent her to work in the Ruby Palace. Aris was shocked and asked why. Rashid said it was because she was cute. Aris agreed, and Siana didn't understand what he was making such a fuss about. Sol said that the prince needed to be at the Imperial Council, so as not to be late, he needed to go now. The prince said that he had not yet drunk tea. Sol told him that he drank almost all the tea. He decided to give what she was owed. Aris asked what was wrong with her. The prince said a cup of tea. However, he already received it. That's enough for today. They were shocked that he wanted to come tomorrow too. Rashid said that thanks to Siana, he was able to enjoy fine tea again. Siana was flattered. Aris told him to stop hitting on her maid and told him to get out of here. The prince gave her a task. By the time he next comes, she must learn to behave like a lady. The princess considered this nonsense. Siana said that he received the letter and immediately came in person, and even brought her a signed permission. Aris said that he was doing it on credit. This surprised Siana, and she asked what it meant. The girl said that she would owe him for this permission in the future. She and her siblings compete for the throne. And I asked her how there could be a good relationship between them. And the crown prince just wanted tea. Nothing will change until one of the heirs takes the throne. In other words, they are not brothers and sisters, but rivals. But Aris doesn't care, because she has no family or friends, and she didn't want her to contact him. But she's glad he agreed. If I didn't agree, I would be petty. This means that they cannot be each other's support and support, rather the opposite. And it's true. If he didn't care about Princess Aris, she wouldn't live here in the dirt, abandoned by everyone. The princess only has power when she has already been appointed successor. She also had to grow up early, and there was no happiness in her life. As a child, Siana was concerned about how she could quietly hide the pepper she didn't like under the table at dinner. And how will they manage to sleep until late at least once? Aris asked Siana if she would be her teacher now. Siana wanted these children's worries to be the only thing that would occupy her. But now everything she can do for the princess will be very useful for her. Sol asked if he really liked Siana that much. The prince said yes and asked if he had seen her big eyes. She's as cute as a squirrel. And Rashid doesn't know whether to take it for himself or wait. I could have at least feigned surprise. He asked if he noticed anything new when they were in the Ruby Palace. Sol said it was unusually clean. She put things in order there, and Princess Aris looks much healthier and well-groomed. Sol was shocked that she knew something about raising children. The prince told Sol that for a knight swordsman, he was slow to think. Aris has definitely opened up to Siana. Sol was shocked and asked if Rashid had planned this from the very beginning. He realized that Siana treated people well regardless of their status. Of course, this is not enough for him to fall in love with her. From the day her little sister was born, Mom Aris asked him if he wanted to listen to his sister. She pushes with her legs. They have a complete coincidence of tastes. Anything that Aris thinks is cute, he thinks is cute too. Sol was shocked because he thought Greed was cute. The prince said that he wanted to come to Siana's tea party again. The maid asked the princess how often he would come. Aris had no idea. Siana met Juju and was very happy. They haven't seen each other for so long. We met by chance in front of the warehouse. Juju said that she thought Siana had lost weight and asked her if she had eaten well. The man told them to leave if they were done with their work. Siana asked if it was because she got bigger. Juju said that she was training in her spare minute. Siana said that Juju is incredible. A friend asked Siana how she found the hairpin. She was so upset when she lost it. The prince thought that her beloved little sister would want to thank her, so he came to her. They also bought a cake with a lot of Kiana chocolate in it. Sol provided the princess with a cake, and Rashid said he would take good care of her. The prince greeted Siana. No member of the imperial family would greet a maid pouring their tea. Aris said it was delicious. She told her brother that Siana's tea was the best. She thought that 2 cups of tea for 1 document was unfair, and she asked if there was something else he could do. The prince asked what exactly. Aris said that Siana's hairpin fell into the lake. Rashid promised to find her. He called 100 guards and drained the lake. Juju was shocked by this story. Honestly, it's just a document. But she didn't think he would be so generous. He gave her a package of soap and a candle. I made clothes for the princess from luxurious fabrics and a bunch of other things. And now it takes up a lot of space. The maid must be strong. Someone is helping her. She can't believe that someone is helping her. The world is still beautiful. The prince came and greeted Siana. Siana apologized for not recognizing him. "Noble sir." The prince said that this was not necessary. He said look at her. He helped because he wanted to. But Siana didn't understand why. Rashid said that she was such a baby, and the cart was very big, so he decided to help. This is the reason. Siana said she ran away, saying the princess was looking for her. But she thinks His Highness is a little crazy. Juju said he looked a little crazy. The life of a junior maid is no more valuable than the life of a fly, but it is not clear why, of all people, the prince. Juju is so worried about her. If she were nearby, she would be calmer, or if she was in the Ruby Castle. Siana told Juju that she is also talented. 10 maids, 1 Juju. She was almost promoted to head maid. There's no way they're sending her to the Ruby Castle. Aris said that she came for her because she had been gone for too long. And the princess is hungry. Siana said that she made her some cookies before she left. These little cookies are absolutely delicious. Aris called her because she was hungry. That's why she can't even think about bringing another maid. The princess asked if she had spoken to her friend. Siana said her name was correct. The princess did not understand why she liked her so much, and she thought it was because of her height and muscles. Siana said that she likes her because she is kind and sweet. While Siana carried 1 bag of flour for an eternity, Juju carried 5 as if it were nothing. Aris told Siana that from today she will give her more meat and milk, much more than that Jup, because she wants to become stronger than her. Siana thought she was very cute, but this is not cute at all. That the prince has come. Aris didn't understand why the womb came again. He came to check if the pond was in good condition. He has already come 5 times to check. This cake is topped with white chocolate whipped cream, and fruits covered with honey, and a bunch of other goodies. This time Aris will not mind, since he is sincere. Siana was happy, although this was the first time. The prince behaved suspiciously politely, from an ordinary princess maid, and she can't tell if he's sane. Rashid came to the Ruby Palace again. He also brought a lot of cookies and sweets that Princess Aris likes. She doesn't understand why he keeps coming to the Ruby Palace. This infuriates the lady so much. The 5th Princess Yvette Leviwan de Pro, the Empress, said that she must understand him. She is just a poor little child. 5th Empress, Vernele Vihuan de Aran. The princess said that nevertheless, her rank was higher, and she did not understand how this happened. She doesn't understand at all why he's so fussy about this girl. Yvette did not understand how she dared to forget her place, to remind her little sister of her place. She should personally teach her a lesson as an older sister. She wants to have a nice conversation with her little sister. She prepared a small tea party for her, and Yvette hopes that Aris will gladly accept her invitation. Aris thought she was a crazy dog, and she didn't understand whether Yvette really thought that she didn't know that she wanted to make fun of her. It pisses her off. If he doesn't come, there will be a buzz. Siana asked how she tortured her. Throughout each tea party, they laughed at her every mistake in clothing and behavior, hinting that she has no right to be called a princess, because she didn't know how to wear clothes and etiquette properly. They said she was a princess in name only. Siana asked why Aris didn't do anything. The princess did not understand what she was talking about. She has Siana. The maid said that she had absolutely nothing to worry about. She will prepare everything for the tea party, and he will tell her everything. Aris asked her who she was. Siana is just a maid from a captured kingdom. Aris's special maid. Siana put it off until now because the princess didn't want to study, but this can't go on any longer. Minimal etiquette. A person must know it in order to survive in the imperial castle, and not just show off in front of others. The princess said that she could not drink tea until the owner said so. In addition, she should not make sounds when she drinks. After taking a sip, she must place the cup on the table. When doing this, you should also not make sounds. Aris didn't understand why simple tea drinking was so complicated and strange. Siana said she was doing great. Aris smiled and was grateful to Siana for her work. The tea is great. The maid said that she was a good student, and Aris did an excellent job. It was perfect from start to finish. Moreover, she learns quickly. Siana was shocked that the princess was truly a genius. Princess Aris is a genius in etiquette. Unlike the nobles, for whom modesty is a virtue, the royals were completely different. Meanwhile, an uninvited guest arrived. Aris said to come in, but just this time. The prince noticed that she became more reserved than before. The prince asked in a whisper if it was because of her. Siana smiled and noticed that he had a keen eye. She thought that the prince could help her pay for the jewelry, but she decided to forget right away. She also didn't want to be indebted and decided to deal with it herself. Etiquette study completed. Next are the clothes. Aris didn't understand how this happened. Siana said that she had prepared something. The princess was shocked that Siana had been making this dress for the past few days. She wanted to prepare the dress, which is perfect for her. And that is all. The maid asks what she thinks about this. Aris said she liked it. Aris asked how she looked. Siana said she was an incredibly beautiful princess, and she looks like the rose fairy from the myths. Aris asked if this was true. Aris said that she looks beautiful because she looks like her mother. Therefore, at today's tea party, she will be the most beautiful of all. As for the princess, with her charm, she will win the heart of His Highness, because she is Lady Rosemary's beautiful and proud daughter. Aris agreed. Siana asked if it was time for them to go then. This dirty girl. Today she will come here again like a beggar. Yvette recalled how she asked Aris how she could eat with her bare hands. Even commoners don't dress or act like that. Aris demeans the royal family. Yvette found humiliation a lot of fun. She already feels rested. She was very interested in when this little princess would come from the landfill. Aris said that she was very grateful to Yvette for inviting her to this tea party. The princess asked Yvette what was wrong with her. Siana told the princess not to stop smiling. To lose your smile in this place is to admit defeat. Aris said that Yvette did not look very good. The lady said she was just very happy to see her. Yvette cannot believe that a savage like her behaves like a princess. Aris said that she was also glad to see her. And I missed her very much. Yvette said to come in and sit down. They have a lot to talk about. Aris told her sister that the tea was simply amazing. She was glad that she liked it. The last time they met, this girl behaved like a monkey, but now there's nothing to complain about. The princess couldn't believe that she had changed so much because of this maid. Siana told Aris that she had a petal in her hair. Yvette said that she had been so worried about her since their last meeting, but she had matured so much, and I'm very happy for her. Yvette said that it looked like her cup was empty and asked if she could fill it. Siana approached her, but Yvette said that she wanted her beloved little sister to pour her tea, not the maid. Just because you've learned etiquette doesn't mean you know it. Aris poured the tea with ease. Yvette was angry because not a drop of tea had spilled and the angle was perfect. It's like she's serving the queen. She decided that the only way out was to make a mistake instead of not. She grabbed the mug and whined. Yvette asked Aris what was the matter. The princess said Yvette suddenly extended her hand. The lady said that not only did she hurt her, but she also did not want to admit her mistakes, and she must punish Aris until she understands what she was wrong about. The princess understood that she was about to be hit. Siana grabbed Yvette's hand, who was already swinging, and asked her to stop. Yvette was shocked that the maid had just stopped her. Siana apologized, but she can't just sit back and watch her break His Majesty's rules. She didn't understand what she was even talking about. The rule is that no one is allowed to punish members of the royal family without His Majesty's permission, even if they themselves belong to the royal family. Yvette did not understand how a simple maid dared to talk about royal rules. However, these rules are just a formality. The emperor's descendants are treated according to how much power they have. Therefore, the weak will not cause any harm, no matter how much they are trampled. But if you openly punish another, there will be rumors about this. He told Aris that she had brought a brave maid. She's so happy for her. But even though she has become familiar with etiquette, it doesn't seem like her maid is disciplined enough. How dare an ordinary maid touch a member of the imperial family? And she believed that this should be punished. Yvette called Siana a stupid girl and asked how she dared to disgrace the royal family of this empire. Siana fell to the floor and was grateful to Her Highness for her lesson. Yvette was simply delighted. Yvette told Aris that if she no longer wanted to receive an invitation, then she should sit quietly. The princess asked Siana why she did this. The maid didn't understand what she was talking about. If it weren't for Siana, Aris would have received the blow. But Siana, knowing this, received the punishment instead of her, to protect such a useless person. Aris said that it was nothing, and offered to treat her when they returned. The maid asked Aris if she had treated anyone before. It's okay, she'll show the princess how to treat her wounds. First, you need to disinfect. Siana asked the princess if she was crying, but Aris denied it. Siana believed that she was upset about what happened today. The princess confirmed this. The maid asked Aris if she wanted to become strong enough to take revenge, and I asked her what she thought. Siana asked if she could cope with any test, even if the path to revenge was painful. Aris was ready, and she said she didn't care. Siana said that she will help her then, because she knows a lot about it.